Deep beneath the surface of the Earth, in the frigid embrace of the Arctic and other cold regions, lies a hidden world permafrost. Permafrost is ground that has remained frozen for at least 2 consecutive years. This frozen ground is more than just soil and ice. It's a time capsule, locking away organic matter like ancient plants and animals for millennia. The ecosystem of permafrost regions is harsh yet teeming with life. Plants with shallow roots thrive during the short summers. Animals like caribou, Arctic foxes, and even microscopic organisms have adapted to this extreme environment. But this frozen world is incredibly sensitive to changes in temperature. Scientists are studying permafrost to understand its role in the global climate system. When permafrost thaws, it releases greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide and methane, which have been trapped for thousands of years. These gases contribute to global warming, creating a feedback loop that accelerates the thawing of more permafrost. Indigenous communities have lived in harmony with this frozen landscape for generations. They rely on the stability of permafrost for their homes, roads, and traditional ways of life. However, as the permafrost thaws, it threatens their infrastructure, leading to collapsing buildings and damaged roads. Wildlife is also affected, as the changing landscape disrupts their habitats and food sources. Collaboration between scientists and indigenous communities is crucial for developing strategies to mitigate the impacts of permafrost thaw. Efforts like reforestation and sustainable land management can help slow down the thawing process and protect this fragile ecosystem. The frozen underworld of permafrost is a vital part of our planet's climate system. Understanding and protecting it is essential for the future of our global environment. Permafrost is like a giant freezer, preserving vast amounts of organic carbon. This carbon comes from the remains of plants and animals that died and froze before they could decompose. Imagine all the carbon dioxide they would have released if they had decayed normally. The amount of carbon stored in permafrost is staggering. It's estimated to be twice the amount currently in our atmosphere. This makes permafrost a critical part of the global carbon cycle and a crucial factor in regulating Earth's climate. Despite the harsh conditions, permafrost regions are teeming with life. Plants have adapted to the short growing season and shallow soil. Animals have developed thick fur, unique hibernation patterns, and migration strategies to survive the long winters. Even microscopic organisms thrive in the permafrost, playing a crucial role in nutrient cycling and decomposition. This delicate ecosystem, however, is threatened by the warming climate. Permafrost acts as Earth's giant carbon vault, locking away vast amounts of carbon dioxide and methane. These greenhouse gases, if released into the atmosphere, would significantly contribute to global warming. Permafrost thaw has implications for the entire planet. The release of greenhouse gases from thawing permafrost creates a positive feedback loop. Warmer temperatures lead to more permafrost thaw, which releases more greenhouse gases, further accelerating climate change. Section 5. The permafrost thaw, a ticking time bomb. As temperatures rise globally, permafrost is beginning to thaw at an alarming rate. This frozen ground, which has remained solid for thousands of years, is now starting to melt, releasing its secrets and its dangers. The Arctic region, once a stable and frozen expanse, is transforming before our eyes. This thawing process has dire consequences for the environment and the planet. The melting permafrost is not just a local issue, it has global implications. As the ice melts, it contributes to rising sea levels, which can lead to coastal erosion and increased flooding in various parts of the world. When permafrost thaws, the organic matter trapped within it begins to decompose. This organic matter, which has been frozen for millennia, includes ancient plants and animals. As it decomposes, it releases greenhouse gases that have been locked away for thousands of years. This decomposition releases carbon dioxide and methane into the atmosphere, further exacerbating climate change. Methane, in particular, is a potent greenhouse gas with a much greater impact on global warming than carbon dioxide over a shorter period. The thawing permafrost also causes the ground to become unstable, leading to landslides, infrastructure damage, and the release of ancient, potentially harmful bacteria and viruses. These microorganisms, once trapped in the ice, are now being exposed to the environment, posing new risks to human health and ecosystems. The permafrost thaw is indeed a ticking time bomb, with far-reaching consequences that we are only beginning to understand. Section 6. Climate change, the permafrost's foe. Climate change is the single biggest threat to permafrost. Rising temperatures driven by human activities like burning fossil fuels are causing widespread permafrost thaw. The Arctic, home to vast stretches of permafrost, is warming at twice the rate of the rest of the planet. This rapid warming is pushing permafrost past its tipping point, leading to irreversible changes in the landscape and the release of massive amounts of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. Section 7. Greenhouse gases, fueling the thaw. Greenhouse gases, like carbon dioxide and methane, trap heat in the Earth's atmosphere, causing temperatures to rise. This warming effect is particularly pronounced in the Arctic, where permafrost is most vulnerable. As permafrost thaws, it releases even more greenhouse gases, creating a dangerous feedback loop that accelerates climate change. This vicious cycle poses a significant threat to the delicate balance of our planet's climate system. Section 8. The domino effect, permafrost, and our future. The thawing of permafrost has far-reaching consequences. As the frozen ground begins to melt, it releases greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide and methane, which have been trapped for thousands of years. This release accelerates global warming, creating a feedback loop that exacerbates climate change. It impacts not only the Arctic regions, but also the entire planet. Rising sea levels, more extreme weather events, and increased coastal erosion are just a few of the direct consequences. These changes threaten coastal communities, leading to displacement and loss of livelihoods. Disruptions to ecosystems are just some of the potential impacts. As the permafrost thaws, it alters the landscape, affecting plant and animal species that have adapted to the cold environment. This can lead to a loss of biodiversity and the collapse of local ecosystems. The thawing permafrost also poses a risk to human infrastructure in Arctic regions, including buildings, roads, and pipelines. As the ground becomes unstable, it can cause significant damage to structures, leading to costly repairs and maintenance. Roads and pipelines are particularly vulnerable as they rely on stable ground for support. The shifting and sinking of the earth can lead to cracks and breaks, disrupting transportation and energy supplies. The economic and social costs of permafrost thaw are significant and will continue to rise if we fail to address climate change. Communities are already feeling the strain, and without immediate action, the situation will only worsen. It's crucial that we take steps to mitigate these effects and protect our planet for future generations. Section 9. Conclusion: Our collective responsibility. The fate of permafrost is intertwined with our own. The choices we make today will determine the future of this frozen world and the planet as a whole. We must act urgently to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and mitigate the impacts of climate change. By transitioning to renewable energy sources, adopting sustainable practices, and supporting policies that address climate change, we can protect permafrost and preserve our planet for future generations. The time for action is now.